Alright, so this is my second attempt at this video, because the first was sort of a disaster. This is going to be a little bit different. This is not included in the WeChat series. I wanted to sort of do a live recording of me troubleshooting, and what I've been trying to do is install a plugin that is going to allow me to use Java in the web browser. So let me show you the reason that I want to do this. I have some course content here for applying for the CompTIA A+ exam, and I would like to download it. So let's see here, download, and it's saying you must install this additional piece of software in order to download anything. So let's press OK. We get a pop-up window, and it says step 1, read this before installing. Step 2, to install it on the workstation, choose a language, and finally install. Okay, so please enable Java so you can download this Skillsoft Course Manager. Okay, so if you look for a Java plugin in the add-ons or extensions library in the Firefox browser itself, you are going to come up empty, as far as I know. Alright, so nothing there. And I typed iced tea because that's actually the plugin that we're going to be using here. So right now I'm on Ubuntu 18.04. This is my main machine. This isn't a virtual machine. And I've found an article here from the actual ict.classpath.org page that seems fairly easy to use. So that's why I thought I would upload this video, because hopefully together we can sort of troubleshoot this. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of steps, but let's see what we got here. So first thing we need to do is download it. So there is some instructions here to compile it from the tarball, but to me it's going to be much easier, although it might not be the newest version, to just check in the Ubuntu repositories to see if it's there. So let's do that now. App search iced tea. Alright, we've got a decent amount of hits here, but looks like just 4 pertaining to iced tea. Iced tea 8 plugin. Okay, that sounds pretty much like what we're looking for. Like it's a base package or something. Next implementation, not really what we're looking for, but okay, iced tea plugin. So this is a web browser plugin, which is what we're looking for. Iced tea, I believe, can be implemented as a plugin or as this next. Not really sure what that is, but this is a dependency package. So I'm guessing that when we go to install this, it's going to tell us that this is a dependency, and it's going to install that as well, because this is a package manager, so it will resolve those dependencies. So let's go ahead and let's do this. Apt show iced tea -8 plugin. Let's just yep, there we go. Okay, let's see here. Gives us a nice description here. Let's look at some of the dependencies. So open JDK 8, obviously. This iced next, which we saw while searching. But what we're looking for is iced plugin. Okay. So that makes sense, right? Because it's specifically listed this is a dependency. And when we're going to go to install this, it's also going to install that dependency, because that's what a dependency is. So let's go ahead with this, okay? Lots of misspellings here today. Alright. So yeah, these are the dependencies. And this is additional package. Okay. So yes. Okay, so great. Let's actually see if we can run this, if this is like a binary program. Nope. So let's do this. Sudo update db, and now we need to locate iced t. So there's not that much here. We can just look at it, but I'll show you an easier way to do it. So it doesn't look like there's a it doesn't look like there's a bin file, an executable file. It's mostly just, you know, iced web. This could be something. Shared libraries, documentation. Okay, so it doesn't look like, well, we can try this. Well, first let me just show you an easier way to kind of grep through this. Okay, so nothing. That I flag right here, that just means case insensitive. Let me try this. Okay, so that's not a command, so that's actually looks like, yeah, that's a directory. Okay, so anyways, let's clear the console out. Oops. Alright, so this is the template we're going to be working for, and I will include a link in the show notes. So what we're going to be doing here is, if you want to install plugins for all users to be used in Firefox, Chrome, Midori, etc., you got to create a symlink to it under the global Firefox plugins directory. So basically we need to make a symlink that's going to point to the iced and these different plugins. Okay? and we need to do that specifically in the global Firefox directory. So that's going to be user lib Mozilla plugins. Alright, let's take a look what else is in here. So there isn't any symlinks, but there are some libraries, which some of these look kind of interesting. I believe this GNOME Shell browser plugin is something that I have set up. I don't think we can see it right here. That's going to let me download GNOME Shell extensions from the web. So I've already set that up. So you can see this libJavaPlugin shared library, and to be totally honest with you, I'm not sure why that wouldn't be sufficient. But if anybody has any information on that, please comment. Constructive comment. Doesn't have to be nice. I can take it. Alright, so where are we here? So we're going to create some symlinks here. And these symlinks are going to point to libraries. So let's take a look at what we're actually doing here. So this is ln. It's going to make links between files, aka symlink. Oh no, actually you need this. What I was really looking for is what this .s flag is, and this is to make symbolic links instead of hard links. And if we take a look, let's take a look at what that means. Symbolic link hard link. Alright, there's a Medium article. Let's see here. And I will also put this in the show notes. So it says a hard link is merely an additional name for a file that already exists. Any number of hard links can be created to other hard links. However, they cannot be created for directories, and they cannot cross file system boundaries or span partitions. Okay, so it looks like there is some limitations for hard links. Looks like, yeah. Can't be created for directories, can't cross file system boundaries or partitions. Let's see. So usually, looks like their hard links allow files, programs, and scripts to be easily accessible in a different directory from the original file or executable file. So what does this definition really mean? Well, you can create a hard link to an existing file by using the command in the file name hard link. And here's an example below. So you're making a hard link between file 1 and this hlink 1. Okay. Alright, this is getting a little bit above my head here. But let's see a basic definition of soft links. So yeah, so this is the kind of link that points to another file. It's sort of like a shortcut, like it says here. And Oh, so I guess this is kind of interesting. The symbolic link does not contain the data in the target file. It just points to it. So, right, so some of the disabilities of hard links that we talked about can be that we can do those with soft links. So we can link to directories or files on remote computers, networked through NSF. Oh, that seems pretty cool. Also, when deleting it, symbolic links. Also, if you delete the target file, symbolic links to that file become unusable, whereas hard links preserve the contents of the file, presumably because the hard links also contain the data of the file that it's linked to. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I'm gonna include a link to this Medium article in the show notes. Okay, so let's sort of get back to business here. Alright. So where are we? So we CD'd into this sort of global Mozilla plugins directory, and we took a look at what's in here, and now we are going to follow these specific instructions to allow Mozilla to use some of these shared libraries. So we're going to be using the ln with the s flag to make sure that it's a soft link, and we're going to be making a link. Oh, I see what we're doing here. Okay, so we're making a, let's see here, we're making a soft link that's going to be called JavaPlugin, that's going to point to this libJavaPlugin. I think that's right, but it doesn't quite seem right, I guess, because if you're in the same folder, well, you know what, actually a good way to do this is to just do it and sort of look at the result. Alright, let's see what this prefix means. Prefix is the prefix of the ICE web installation, which should be user local by default. So let's take a look. Let's make sure that's the case. User lib. Oh, I'm sorry. Should be user local. Alright. And cd lib ls cd lib. So I'm not seeing it here. User local lib ICE plugin. I'm just sort of doing a manual recursive search here. You know what? Let's see where this gets us. Nowhere. ICT Web. Okay, so it looks like this is the user lib. Oh, I guess it's not in the local user directory. It's in the just regular lib jvm. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this and let's see where this gets us. Oops. Alright. So that is an unfortunately long path, but so ln s and then we're gonna say lib java. We're not in the right directory. Okay, this is, like I said, this is recorded live, not at all by an expert, so bear with me here. User lib. Okay, so now we're in the right directory. I mean, that what we were doing before absolutely could have worked. However, we just would have had to type a longer path name for the second argument as well. And it's going to be a lot easier to troubleshoot if we sort of follow the directions that are in the article. Okay, so we got LNS, meaning it's going to be a symbolic link between this ICT plugin and this Java lib plugin. So let's see what happens. So it is telling us that lib Java plugin already exists, which we know. So this already existing lib Java plugin points to this plugin, a Mozilla Java plugin. So here's what I'm gonna do, and this, I really wish I was working on a virtual machine, but okay, this may not be good. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna delete this live Java plugin. That's going to require a sudo. And now I'm going to recreate that live Java plugin using the this command sequence. Okay, actually it's just a single command, but well, let's go ahead. Permission denied, obviously. Alright, and so now we have a new live Java plugin, and let's see where it points to. So it points to where we wanted to point to, this iced plugin. So let's see here. Restart the browser should cause the plugin to be picked up. And we're working with Firefox, which should work. Alright. Let's close this. Let's go to a module here. Let's say download. Nope, I said save. Download. It's gonna say, okay, we need this additional piece of software. Okay, fine. And install. Please enable Java. So, it does not seem like that worked. But let's try this. Totally restart Firefox. Okay. And I want to take a look here at some of these add-ons. Plugins. I'm seeing if I can manually load this symbolic link up in here. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so as of March 2017, some of these plugins are no longer supported except for Flash. They will not be loaded into Firefox even though they may be installed on your computer, including Java. So that might just be our problem here. It seems like it might let you, if you see this symbol, it might let you load a plugin. I think it's saying it's not going to automatically load them. So I guess we can try that. Although that doesn't seem likely to work. Yeah, I don't see that icon anywhere. Yeah. Well, that is just too bad. Maybe this is the permissions? No. Doesn't seem so. I suppose we can try Google Chrome. Java and Google. Chrome no longer supports technology required for Java applets. So it looks like this was a thing implemented by most browsers. So it says now Java applications are offered through web browsers as either a web start application, which does not interact with the browser once they are launched, or a Java applet, which might interact with the browser. And then there's this thing about launching web start applications. Java Web Start software. Java Web Start software. This looks like it's probably this advanced management console. Looks like it's probably way too much than we actually need. So I guess I would like to try by using this. We have the Java runtime environment, Java Web Start. Alright, let's search for that. Let's grep for web. IT web settings. So let me show you what we did here. So we said locate JRE, and then we're going to grep for keyword web. And we do find a bin here. So this is executable file. But let me pull up the man page, if it exists, and see what actually this does. View and modify settings for Java Web Server browser plugin. This might be what we want. Command line and GUI program to modify, edit settings used by the ICE Web implementation, which I believe that we ICE Web. I think that was probably a dependency for ICE. Okay, we need to check that. So apt search ICE web. Oops. Nothing. Let's see if that's the right name. ICE web. Okay. Oh, that's why. ICE. Okay, we have both of these installed. I mean, it doesn't specifically say ICE web, so maybe we can look for it. No. ICE web. These aren't in bin directories. So what happens? Oh, so those aren't commands. That's a directory. Let's take a look. So we went to the IC web directory, and it looks like there is a configuration policy. So let's take a look at this. I'm not seeing much information here. So why don't we try to do this again? So again, go to the man page for paste T. So let's look at the man page for ICE T-web. Well, I know there's documentation. How do we find this thing before? I'm thinking about just ending this and doing another video once I sort of have more of my feet on the ground here. Java control panel, Java web start, Java web start. I know, folks, this is ugly. Okay. IT web settings, okay. Let's try that. So let's use the GUI here. This is so much more complicated than I thought it was going to be. Or maybe it's not. I'm just making it. Okay. Alright. Let's go back to the Java article. Okay, I'm going to end this, and we'll come back to it when I got more of my foot on the ground here, because this is a lot of just not talking and clicking. So thanks for hanging in there, and any comments that are constructive at all will be greatly appreciated.